Rich Rising, my love. So listen, I am here to get you guys a message from my elemental empath thick deck. Ooh, they popping. I'm here to get you guys a message from my elemental empath deck. Let's get into it. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. If this is your first time here, I am Regal Essence. I am Queen TV. I am Queen TV After Dark. I am a Life is a Love Goddess. I am Life is a Laid Back Mom. I'm your crystal healer and Zilla. I'm your ray of sunshine in the afternoon time. I'm somebody's ABA therapist and pre-K teacher and your past life princess. Hey, booze, hey. So listen, we had a lot of cards that popped out. So Holy Spirit, which card do you want us to get into? So this is my elemental empath deck. And this deck is very important for those who can resonate with being an empath, those who are very connected to the elemental spirits and the elemental world, earth, wind, fire, my earthy people, my people who like to go and ground and hug trees, my fairies, all of that good stuff. All right. So as someone who carries that type of energy, and if you are an empath, you know that you always need to be preserving your energy, protecting your energy, healing your energy, guarding your energy from energy vampires and all that good stuff. So this deck serves to give us some oracle messages and advice as it relates to that. All right, so let's get into it. So we have divine timing, okay, relating, hope came out, repeating patterns came out, and growth. Oh my goodness. Okay, Holy Spirit, what should we get into? All right, so repeating patterns talks about having awareness. What is the lesson and learning to break the cycles of certain lessons. And your hope is here to encourage us to trust, have faith, heal from the past, and to have hope versus expectation. Because sometimes expectation can be rooted in something in past experiences. So sometimes whenever we when we have an expectation for something, we're expecting it to turn out like it did before. Hope is to believe that something different is going to happen. And look at the way she's sitting there with that lion. She's looking up, third eye activated, and that lion is there to protect her, okay? So you guys need to be hopeful. You are protected, all right? You are surrounded by the Most High, all right? Relating. So it's very important for us right now to not be comparing ourselves to others unless it's in a good way, and be careful of projections that may be placed upon you and that you may be placing upon others, okay? And we want to be rooted and grounded in our self-reliance. So look at her. She's leading from her heart chakra. She is strong in who it is that she is. She's grounded, okay? So remember, comparison is the thief of joy. So make sure we are not out here comparing ourselves to other. Divine timing, and I love her because her body looked like mine. Trust the universe, follow the flow, and have patience. So trust your signs, my love. Look at her. She's looking up, right? She is such a divine feminine. She's looking up because she is kissed by God, okay? And she's not perfect, but she's motherfucking divine, all right? Let's get into it. All right, so what we're going to dig into a little bit deeper is growth. Now, I love the artist that created this deck because my goddess deck lets us know what the goddesses look like. They were very hippie, very, they got fupas, all that good stuff. Our elemental empath deck also reminds us that, like, we're not here to have the perfect body, the perfect shape, and all of that good stuff. Look at her. She's nice and squishy, right? So let's get into growth. Growth is surrender to the process, simplify your healing, and layers. So let's get into it. Now, I love this diamond that is on here. She also has a lotus. She looks as if she is, she got Reiki symbols on her thighs, and she looks like a butterfly. So as we are going through our healing process, it is a transformation, right? A metamorphosis of such. They say we actually die. You die to come back and grow. You die to grow your wings. Is what that's what I'm hearing. So look at her. She's on the ground as if she is, you know what I mean? So yeah. So with this particular deck, it is broken down into the elements as well. The elements meaning earth, water, fire, air, okay? It also has a section that is in alignment with the cosmos, so your crown chakra, okay? So now growth is growth is earth, right? So we talked about earth has to do with being grounded, Capricorn energy, earth energy, right? Grounding has to do with your root chakra, stability, feeling safe, okay? And then when your root chakra is unbalanced, we're dealing with things like addiction, obsession, things of that nature. So it's very important that we have our chakras balanced, because our chakras being out of balance actually shows up very much in our physical life, whether we realize it or not. Okay, so let's get into growth. Growth is related to the grounding element. It is number 47. So for some people, I know the number 47 is a lucky number. So growth. So we're talking number 5. Oh, but on the card, she is number 5. So listen, we talk about transformation today, okay? Growth can be a painful process. The caterpillar in its metamorphosis actually goes through a stage of turning into a complete goop before becoming the butterfly. I just said that. The diamond is the toughest, one of the most beautiful substances of earth, and it is also created by undergoing enormous pressure for thousands of years, okay? So when you thinking, like, even myself, sometimes I have to remind myself that this process isn't forever. I'm not gonna die in the process. I'll be like, oh my God, I'm getting older, right? But we have to remember that a diamond is formed. It took thousands of years, okay? So you got time. Just remember, you got time, okay? Growing is not easy and usually involves looking at the darkest parts of ourselves that we would rather keep hidden. But just like the butterfly, we cannot remain in our current state forever. It's not our state to remain. It's not our nature to remain stagnant. As Anise Nin said, and the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk to take blossom. Ooh, let me say that again. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Ooh, so it's harder to stay like this than to just open up and blossom, right? And as we can see, she has the lotuses on this card. This card is also about overcoming obstacles and finding growth in the face of it. It is a reminder to you that you are stronger than you think and that growth is in your nature, okay? Sometimes we have to break down in order to break through. And guys, that's very true. It's not a cliche, but sometimes we do have to break down in order to break through. Sometimes you have to start all the way from the beginning, right? Because what you build is going to be better than what you had to destroy or what was destroyed, okay? Or what you had to walk away from. So let's get into the shadow work, because these cards deal with shadow work. So my past life deck, we deal with karma, the karmic balance. In this deck, we're dealing with shadow work, okay? So shadow work is one of the core of the core to our healing journey. Shadow work is a process of looking at the dark, unseen parts of ourselves and bringing light and healing to them. Ignoring or repressing the darkness does not make it go away, and keep in mind that processing it is not the same as feeding it, okay? We must bring light with us. Like a dark, cluttered, and dusty basement, we cannot go in without light and tools for cleaning. Otherwise, we will be stumbling around in the dark, tripping over sharp objects, and probably building unnecessary fear around what might be down there. The light is everything. Connect with your true self, your inner divine, and that is the light that will guide your way. Stay so grounded that you aren't easily spooked, and remember that fear builds in darkness, unknowns, and assumptions. Get into it, okay? Fear builds in darkness, unknowns, and assumptions, okay? So, and then also too, sometimes when we're in situations where we're supposed to be fearful, we have to find that courage even in the darkness. So at that point, we have to process that fear and create courage, right? We can't just keep looming around all the assumptions and like, oh my God, I'm in the dark. Sometimes it's just like, you know what, I'm in the dark, but like, I'm going to trailblaze through this. That's different. That is actually alchemizing your fear into courage, okay? Now, let's get into simplifying your healing. Growth can be painful, but it doesn't always have to be as bad as we think. There can be a flow to it if we allow ourselves to sink into the process instead of resisting it. That being said, having a breakdown about how hard things are is also valid, right? Especially when we wish that we were further along than we are. And that's so crazy. I literally was having to talk about this with my daughter. In much of the spirituality throughout the world, growth is seen as a horrific process of death and rebirth. And while sometimes it is true, it doesn't have to be the norm. Even while in the storm, there are ways to calm your system, release resistance. Okay, so I always talk about healing my nervous system. So healing your nervous system is very important, and a part of healing your nervous system is not resisting the change. Okay, some people use 30 different modalities, herbs, and shamans to connect with their true self. Clock it. I believe in connecting to the things that you need to connect to in order to be able to heal. In order to connect to their true self, when a simple meditation might do the trick. This card invites you to explore your options, but to keep in mind that there is often a simpler answer. So basically, also what that's saying too is, don't get overwhelmed. I love the point that was making. I didn't realize till I read it exactly the point it was making. But basically, don't get overwhelmed. And that is so important. That is definitely something that I did during my healing journey. I did not allow myself to, just because I stepped into spirituality, I realized that I did not have to grasp onto every practice that was considered spiritual, right? But instead, I found my own way and my own process. It was just certain things I was just like, I'm not doing that. Like, and there's still certain things that if I don't resonate with it, then I don't do it, right? And certain things that I didn't resonate with at the beginning of my healing journey, I now do resonate now. But I can do it in a way that I'm not overwhelmed. So basically, simplifying your healing is to do something simple in order to heal. It doesn't have to be so big and elaborate and dramatic, okay? There is something to be said about laughter. It's not always appropriate, but laughing at just how outrageous some of the situations in life can be is a great medicine. And that's why I love TikTok. I feel like TikTok is a medicine for a lot of people. Even laughing with a friend or yourself about how shitty you feel can release some pressure, all right? Find ways to laugh and celebrate how far you have come, all right? Let's get into lastly. This card reminds you to regularly update your identity. I love that. Old versions of yourself may try to hold on long after they need to be there. They can pop up, making us think we haven't progressed and that things are not as far along as they are. Take a good look at where you are on your journey and update your identity. Clock it. I love that. Keep it in mind. It's okay to have parts of you that are still struggling, just like it's okay to have parts of you that are healing and happy. Get into it. If this video resonates with you, make sure you drop a comment below. I really, really. So if you love this deck, I want to know. Tell me. So we're going to get into the last thing. It is potential blocks. This card raises the possibility that you may be stuck in a healing or growth sense mode. So I'm not sure who needed to hear this today, but let me know if this helps. Some phases are for growth, some are for rest. Oh my God. And others are for enjoyment. Pushing yourself to constantly heal actually can burn out your nervous system and bring up things that aren't yet ready to be processed. Yep, you have to take your time. You'll know when it's time to deal with certain things. It is an exhausting process to always be healing. Your body is very intelligent, and it will let you know when it's ready to look at something. If you are dealing with things like physical or mental issues, trauma, or other chronic problems, it can be tempting to push for a solution. Just remember to integrate the healing you have done and enjoy moments of calm along the way. Oh my God. Y'all, I really live my life like this. I didn't necessarily always have a book to reference, but I really do live my life like this. All right, so this card invites us to notice the good in your life, not just the painful. It's easy to get lost in how horrible things seem and not be able to see the forest for the trees. This is so relatable. This is so relatable. I already know who I'm sending this to. If you know somebody who can benefit from this video, make sure y'all send it to them, because I already know somebody I can send it to. All right, so this is the exercise. If the growth process is intense for you right now, you may want to try writing or drawing exercises to release some stress. All right, if you choose, you can meditate beforehand or just dive right in. Like, one of the things I started doing, y'all, listen, I told y'all I'd be living my life like this, even though I didn't have a guide, but I'm here to be a guide. Listen, I be doing these. I be doing word hunts. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like it make me a little bit smarter. And it just, like, it calms my nervous system. You know what I mean? Like, you have to calm yourself to do it. So everything is not going to be so like, ooh, meditation, ooh, this, ooh, that. But y'all, listen, you can find ways to heal yourself, and it doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? And healing is private, right? Most times we do our healing in private. You're not healed. You can't heal in public. So healing is a very private thing. And the things that you do are not going to be broadcast. But once you do figure things out, like once you have healed, then yeah, of course, we come in to let everybody know how to do it. But healing is very private. So anyway, draw, scribble, freely write, whatever comes to mind, taking slow, deep breaths as you, this expression may help you release some of the emotions. If it makes it stronger, see fire. Okay. If it makes it stronger, so there's other cards in the deck that you could refer to. Secondly, if you might try drawing yourself as a flower in the process of blooming. It doesn't need to be a good drawing, just a flower with its petals opening. Put this somewhere you can see it often to remind yourself that even if it doesn't feel like it, you are blossoming. Yo, clock it. Okay, so I know I definitely was supposed to read this message from this deck today because I got so many synchronicities. At the daycare I work at, they just got a new table, and it's a dry erase table. So the kids can draw on the table and then erase it. And let me tell y'all, for the last 2 days, that has been a hit. Teachers, everybody, like, just sitting there drawing, like, and one of the teachers, she was drawing all these very detailed, beautiful flowers. So we thank God for the synchronicity. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all. I love y'all over there. I love y'all. Do me a favor. Drop me a comment if this video resonated. Tell me if you like the deck. Tell me if you like the deck. I've read from this deck before. Let me know if you guys like my elemental empath deck. Look at this beautiful queen. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Happy hump day. And remember, I love you.